What is going on, people? Got some more BT13 action for you guys, showing off a couple of rogue decks this time. Belphemon over on the right, and Pawn Chess slash Chessmon, whatever, the yellow-black deck over on the left. So Belphemon I actually think is a pretty solid rogue deck. There's a lot of cool stuff it can do, namely just sleep mode itself is basically impossible to out, and once your opponent has this set up, with the rage mode it's very difficult to prevent that OTK. You effectively just need to have some form of blocker, but of course at the start of the main phase it also does just blow up all level 5s or lower, so it's pretty hard to deal with. So our opponent playing Belphemon is going to go ahead and set up with the level 3 Gizmon, and then our Pawn Chess friend is just going to play the Miki Megumi Dual Tamer to play out a Chessmon for free. And there is actually a black-yellow line as well as a yellow-black line, so there's actually two different Pawn Chessmons in BT13, fun fact, which I guess is kind of relevant to the whole chess theme, because you can play 8 pawns, and there's 8 pawns in a game of chess. Anyways, I digress. So our opponent, or rather our friend over here playing Belphemon, is going to go ahead and swing, and then the Pawn Chess is going to block. But the cards are really bad, man. Like, first of all, the deck basically floats into different Chessmons, but the Pawn Chesses, as well as all the other ones, I think, have the on deletion, but it has to be your opponent's turn specifically to proc their effects. So that's already, like, it couldn't just be an on deletion. It has to be an on deletion on your opponent's turn, where the Pawn Chess plays a 3 or lower, or just a level 3 Chessmon, but if you have 8 or more, I think you increase the cap by 1. But our opponent, or our friend here playing Pawn Chess, didn't have any level 3 pawns in hand, so he's just not going to be able to float anything. And I think the whole line does that, where they basically float into the same level, but increase the cap if you have 8 or more. So Belphemon over here is going to level up into the AT. Basically, the Gizmons, like, instead of evolving, because none of them can digivolve, you basically killed a previous line or a previous level to play the new level for, like, a reduced cost, if that makes sense. So you see there, he's going to kill the level 4 Gizmon AT to play the XT for a cost of 3, I believe, and then on play it will play out the Karada from the trash for free. So Karada is a really cool card, because basically at this end of your turn, or the end of your opponent's turn, you stick it under a Belphemon to kill level 6, and then Belphemon Rage Mode will kill all level 5s or lower. So it's pretty difficult to kind of play around, because your opponent can just board wipe you a lot of the times. So in a lot of scenarios, you have to, like, rush down the Belphemon player if you are playing against this deck, because as per its theme, you are basically playing against a ticking time bomb. Once sleep mode hits the field, it is all but over. So Belphemon here is going to go ahead and swing at security with the Gizmon XT, lives a security check, and then we're just going to hard play the Belphemon. Of course, Belphemon does cost 11, which sometimes you don't care. If you don't have the setup, you can honestly just slam it for 11, and, like, it's fine. But because our friend here does have Karada on field, Karada says that by deleting one of your Gizmons, I believe you can reduce the cost by that Digimon's play cost when you would play Belphemon in its name. So you basically get to play it for 2 here, also triggering the XT's effect to then play out any Gizmon from your trash, so playing out the level 3 one to then cycle a couple more cards. But now that Belphemon has triggered its effect, you basically get to stick a Rage Mode underneath it, and it becomes unaffected by all effects until the end of the next turn and cannot attack. It can be attacked, however, so if you are playing something like Black War Greymon or something, and it's not suspended, you can actually attack into the Belphemon, and it can die by battle. The only thing being, they do have the ability to negate an attack once per turn by discarding 2 cards, so you effectively need to swing into their Belphemon stack 2 times. Now our friend here is going to swing into security and hitting a Dorumon security. Dorumon does reveal the top card of your deck to your hand. If it's a black 4 cost or lower, you get to play it. Otherwise, you just add it to your hand. And then the pass turn here, Fascomon, the koala, is going to be played. I think he's a koala, which I also think that card art is really funny. If you guys notice, he's beating up Psychmon in the back. Like, Psychmon's just laid out, which is also ironic, because, like, Psychmon does, like, counter the deck pretty well, because he can't reduce play cost. So I don't know if that was intentional, but I thought that was pretty funny. So Belphemon's going to pass turn here. Next turn, you've got the absolute behemoth that is Rage Mode. So I think we're going to try to wall up a little bit, playing out the Knight Chessmon, which is not a blocker, I don't think. But being able to trigger Miki Megumi for a +2 memory, draw 2, is kind of cool, I guess. And then we're probably just going to try to maybe evolve into the Rook Chessmon, the level 5s that are blockers, or play out another pawn. Since we've got a third copy of the Dual Tamer, so we're just going to play them, play out another pawn, tap it, gain a memory, draw a card, and you know, that's basically it. Actually, I don't even think the pawn is a block. I actually don't even. What is a blocker in this deck? Is anyone here coping Chessmon? Like, what's a blocker in this deck? This deck actually just does nothing. But anyways, so technically at the end of the opponent's turn and at the end of Chess's turn, the Kurata and the Belphemon inherited will trigger trashing the top card of the sleep mode, as well as being able to delete all 6. There are none, but then at the start of the main phase, Rage mode will delete all level 5s and lowers, so deleting them and then being able to then trigger any effects. Don't think we have any level 3 or 4 Chessmons in hand. Yep, we see a couple of knights there. I think the far left cards might be knights, but we have, other than that, just a bunch of rooks. So, going to be able to digivolve into Eismon. And then now Rage Mode is a 17,000 Digimon that checks 2, and then at the end of attack, it can delete another Digimon to unsuspend it. So that's why we went into the Eismon here, so you can basically cycle 3 more cards and get that extra attack off of the Rage Mode. Hitting another Doraemon, but it's not going to do anything. So, yeah, that's going to be that one. Belphemon, obviously the much stronger deck, and can set up for OTKs pretty quickly. It's a little bit scary, so if you guys are want to try something out for locals, I'd recommend Belphemon. Definitely don't play Chessmon. That deck is so terrible, unless you're just a fan of chess. I don't know. But anyways, guys, that's going to do for this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.